Hello and welcome to this very edition of VERITAS. Once more, a great welcome to you all in this special edition of VERITAS. I am Anamita Chakraborty from Bengal Volunteers and as well as Kanjik, and we are going to host a session on a very special topic called "In Search of the Exclusivity of Bengali Hindus" or the Bengali Hindu exclusivity. As it is known to us all that in respect of culture, language, religious convictions, food habits, and many other aspects, the Bengali Hindus stand apart in their subcontinent and even from the other Hindu areas, even in India. But unfortunately, in the last 80 years, we have undergone persecutions, atrocities, abductions, state tortures, but unfortunately have not found a single force behind us to stand by us and say that we are with you in the struggle. There are lots of questions and lots of answers to be heard. This has been the community or nation that had played a very good role, a very prominent role even in the medieval ages. There are rumors that the Bengali Hindus are not martial, but brushing aside all these allegations, from time to time, the Bengali Hindus have expressed themselves as valorous, valiant, and great warriors. With all this in view, we are going to discuss the issue of Bengali Hindu exclusivity, and in search of it, with our two prominent members and guests tonight, Jyotishman Sarkar and Soumyadip Banerjee. Hello, Jyotishman.
Yes,
good evening, Jyotishman. Good evening, Soumyadip. Can you hear me, Soumyadip?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear.
Thank you. Well, Jyotishman, I think your face must be in the center. I think we can see the face, please. Yeah.
I think
Fine.
there is some issues in camera.
Oh, might be.
Now is it visible?
Might be. Yeah, a part of your face. Okay, fine. It's now fine. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine. Well, Jyotishman, if we just begin this conversation now, that
Yes.
there have been popular sayings, even in the British documents, that the Bengali Hindus are not a martial race. But
Yes.
there have been events, there have been tens of thousands of incidents where the Bengali Hindus have become very martial. So do you think that the division of martial and non-martial race is nothing but an imperialist strategy to weaken the Bengali Hindus?
If you look in the history of British Empire, the martial-less race concept was built up for one specific concept, that who serves for the military. And during British era, we all know there was a regiment called Bengali Polton. We all know that, and during First World War, they showed very much valor for the British. But because of some movement that was going on during the period from 1905 to 1911, that caused from the partition of Bengal, and then so much revolutionary movement emerged through it, and there was a fear among the Britishers, so they classified those races for martial and non-martial. If we look in the history of revolutionary period, so mainly three jatis we would see that they played the major role in the independence of India. First is Bengali, second is Sikhs or Punjabi, and third is Marathas. But what is their perspective towards us, that they have so much unrest against the British Empire that they wouldn't allow such a jati to be martial or non-martial, and they classified that as non-martial. Uh, but there is a role of our historians also, that they didn't show us in such a way. If we look as Kannadigs, uh, no historians have such glorified the Kannadigs, but they have the urge for their history, and they uh, uh, continuously tried and portrayed the Vijayanagar Empire. Uh, but if we look in the medieval Bengali history, uh, no either right wing or not or left wing, no historian showed Bengalis as a positive light. If we classify the Bengali historians, there is two groups. First is a nationalistic group, and second is pro-Bengali, or I would say they have a Marxist view of history. Um, Dinesh Sen, Satish Chandra Mitra, and Haraprasad Sastri, they have a outlook of Buddhist type of crypto Buddhist or pro Buddhist outlook towards our history. And they have voted that no Hindu resistance was available during Sena rule. And after the invasion of Bakhtiyars, full Bengalis resistance was collapsed, and they ruled on us for 80 100 year 80 sorry 60 100 years. And it is the Britishers who came and rescued us. So this type of narratives produced from there. And secondly, there is a class like Jadunath Sarkar, R.C. Majumdar, and most importantly, Rakhal Das Banerjee. Yes, they have showed some kind of positive things, like somewhere Jodhnath had written that before Jafar Khan Ghazi started the expedition to southern Rad or southern Bengal, the region wasn't Islamized or under the control of Sultanate, but their perspective also moreover same, because they say what they say is that um, during some for 100 years there was resistance, but it is not only 100 years, it is continuous resistance. It goes on through the Mallabhum, the last Bengali Hindu and Mallabhum, and other small territories. They had shown very much resistance against the Muslims. If we see in the Mallabhum history, they have defeated the Nawabs many times. And what everyone says that last Bengali Nawab, Sirajuddaulah, he actually lost the battle against Mallabhum in Sangarkola. Very few historians point that it is available in British documents that in the Battle of Sangarkola, and some historians, local historians like Manoranjan Chandra on Mallabhum Bisnupur, he noted that
But that means that you do opine that the Bengali Hindus have always been very martial, and they have never surrendered.
yes,
They have never put down the arms and ammunitions
they were
to
martial.
the
That is why we are now living here, or else
yeah.
it would be another Kashmir.
Oh, certainly, certainly. Okay, fine, fine.
There was
Let me come to
several
the
dynasties during medieval time.
okay, certainly. Well, fine. Jyotishman, please give me a hold. I will come to Soumyadip at this time to ask him some questions. I think Soumyadip is on the screen right now. Why Soumyadip? Is there any problem in the technical links? Is there any problem? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? I think it's asking that something has gone wrong again. It's very unfortunate for this show that we are in a very serious programs, and but we have not been.
Anumita, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, is the stream is still going on? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. This will continue. Yes, 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 I can hear you, but yes, there is a glitch in your sound. I think it's echoing very much.
Excuse me. So, can you hear me? Uh, your voice isn't clearly audible. There is some issues there.
Yeah,
Somadita,
what's
can
the
you hear me?
problem?
Yes, now
Actually, on
we can
the
hear.
the-
But we can
yes,
see
yes.
you. We
Initially,
can't
your
see
voice
you.
was
We
not
can't
clear
see you.
earlier. Yeah, can you hear
Oh,
me?
there is some huge. There is a problem. There is a problem in the audio, I think.
Hello, Anumitra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Somadip, I can hear you certainly, but um, there is a problem. There is a problem in the audio, I think. So Somadip, let me come to you. Okay, let me come to you. Okay. Hello.
Yes, can you hear me, Anumitra?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Can
I
you
can hear
hear
you.
me? Okay, fine.
Yes, yes, yes.
My question,
Okay.
my question to you is that uh, a few minutes before Jyotishman had said that the revolution movement, in the revolutionary movement, the Bengalis were accompanied by the Sikhs and also the Marathis. But if we look into the list of the martyrs, especially in the or the prisoners in the Andaman Civil jail or the martyrs, the Bengalis are far ahead of the other two. So, do you think that there was a considerable difference between the Bengalis and the other two in the revolution movement as well?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. The number of Bengalis were so high because what I think that the revolutionary concept, which here in Bengali we call Ognijuk, it was born here. Like if we start that the Vande Mataram word, which we use even today, it was originated in Bengal, and most of the revolutionary groups, either we speak in Maharashtra or in Punjab, there were always Bengalis included. If you see in the Bhagat Singh group, which is a very famous group who did many great things for this country, Bhagat Singh Chandrasekhar Azad's group, there were many Bengalis included. Even the Kakori conspiracy, it was led by a Bengali, Shochindranath Sannal. Now, if we speak about Maharashtra, Balakrishna Shivram Munje, who is a very big figure in Maharashtra nationalism or in the British time, and also Bal Gangadhar Tilak, they were all acquired and friend with Bengalis like Aurobindo Ghosh, Pramothnath Bosu. Like the Bengalis had an effect on the Maharashtrian people and the Punjabi people who later took the weapons to fight against the British. It was the influence of the Bengalis that affected them. The Bengali literature like Vande Mataram or writings like the Sonnashi Bidroh, this affected the Bengali people so much that they affected the other parts, and this started a revolution in all these 3 points, which we can say.
Okay, that's fine. But what I would like to know from you is that even you have also written, and Snehanshu have Mujumdar has written, not to speak of Jyotishman Sarkar, that even in the
Yes, yes,
medieval era, even in the medieval era, the
yes,
Mughal, the Bengali Hindus had offered a stubborn resistance against the Islamists or the Islamist imperialism in Bengal and in many parts of eastern India and other areas also. So I would like
Oh
to know
yes,
from
yes,
you
yes.
that
Now,
just a minute. My question has come.
like when we speak about the medieval times in Bengal, like
Just a minute. I have not finished the question.
yes,
So do you think that all those ballads, all those stories that speak of the Bengali Hindu infirmity or the Bengalis as a very sissy population are baseless? Do you think that the worship of weapons have been a regular part of the Bengali Hindu feature or the Bengali Hindu lifestyle? Do you think so?
it is totally baseless that people say that Bengali Hindus can't fight. Bengali Hindus didn't revolted or didn't fight against the Islamics. Like when it comes about the fight against the British, the name of the Bengalis are very, very well known. No one can say that the Bengalis didn't fight against the British. But when it comes against the Islamic invaders, the name of the Bengalis don't come in front of us. Like if I start from where this story or this like this injustice starts from a point, and that point was the Bakhtiyar Khilji's Nadia attack. From there, the story started that the whole Bengal went under Muslim rule and no resistance were there. But this is a total lie, because what we have done research. I can say I am Jyotishman is here, and also one of our members, our core members, Snehangshu is there. We have done extensive research. We have read many books, and we can say that this is totally wrong. If we start from the point that people it's ended in 1203, from like 550 years later till 1761, as Jyotishman mentioned some minutes before, the Battle of Sanghat Gola, till 1761, the independent kingdom of Mallabhum was standing. In 1761, 4 years after the War of Plassey, after 4 years of the War of Plassey, Mallabhum fall, and it was traitors were there. Traitors were there, and for them, Mallabhum fall.
Well, it is a very interesting story of we are hearing of the stories of Mollabhum and the stubborn resistance against the Islamists and the Islamic expanding Islamist forces. But somehow I think that we have lost the touch of Soumyadip Banerjee. He will be back here very soon, so please stay with us, have the patience, as we are trying to bring back him once more. Okay,
I'm
Soumyadip?
sorry, there is some network problem here.
Okay, Soumyadip, fine, just a minute. I would like to know from you, how long had been the Mollabhum dynasty? For how many years? 100 or 200 or more than
It
that?
it is very long. It started about it. It was there for about 1200 years. 1200
And
years of independent.
and independent, they enjoyed independence for 1200 years.
Yes, yes,
1200
yes,
years.
yes.
My God. But this has
And
never been mentioned. Just a minute, but this has never been mentioned in the history books. We don't find this mentioned in the history
no,
books.
they are never mentioned in our history book. Even many people say that the Mughals took over Mallabhum, but this is a lie. Mughals never took over Mallabhum. Even the only try that Mughals did to took over Mallabhum was under Shah Shuja, and he lost a battle. Shah Shuja, the eldest brother of Aurangzeb, he lost a battle against Mallabhum king, and he treacherously beated him in a war. Like the king had went to his guru for a Vaishnav Diksha, and at that time Shah Shuja attacked him and took him under refuge and caught him. Then the king said, if you have power, then beat me in a war. Don't attack me from the back. Don't be a traitor. Shah Shuja was
What I may
at that
add
time
some points over here. What was
yes, yes, yes.
if
Jyotishman is very
we say
expert.
Okay, I will come to Jyotishman. I will come to Jyotishman.
yes, yes.
Soumyadip, please carry on. Soumyadip, please carry on.
So
Soumyadip, please
after
carry
this,
on.
so Shah Shuja had to leave the king, who is called Bishingamol. He had to leave him because the Pathans were gaining power, and in the Delhi, Aurangzeb was coming, so he had to leave. And this king's son, when Aurangzeb said Tansen's grandson and grandchildren to leave Delhi and go anywhere else, it was Mallabhum who gave them the refuge, the place to live, and they lived there. They practiced music there. The grandparent, the grandchildren of Tansen came to Mallabhum, lived there, and they practiced music there. It was under
Oh
a
wow.
Mallabhum king. He gave them the place to live and gave them everything that's needed.
Well, then Soumyadip, this is a very fantastic story that has never been heard by me at least. I don't know whether others. But where have you got this info? I would like to know the name of the historian who has penned all this. Where have you got this info? Have you got in the pages of any historian? Hello?
I'm sorry, I
Hello?
can't hear. Can you say
Hello?
it once more? Yeah,
Well, I would
can you
like
say it
to.
once more? I can't hear you.
Sir, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, 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 I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. My question is that why this is a great and extraordinary information that has not been known by a purpose many that has been this remains unknown to many persons, including me at least. So I would like to know who was the historian that who has penned all this info? Where have you got this info from?
Now, if we speak about historians, there is very much less mention about these kingdoms in history books itself. Like there are some uh, local historians like Manoranjan Chanda for Mallabhum, Devi Prasad Jana for Shikharbhum. They wrote these things in their books. Their books are not read among people, but they should be read. There is Atul Ghosh for Gopbhum, as I mentioned, Devi Prasad Jana for Shikharbhum. There is Vidhubhushan Bhattacharya for Bhurishreshta. People who lived there at that time or after that, they came to know about it and they wrote it in a book. And this is how it is preserved. And I should say, we are lucky that these local historians wrote these things, or we could have never known it. This was done by the
Thanks a
local
lot.
historians.
Thanks a
So
lot. Well, thanks a lot that we have learned the names of these local historians through you. Since
obviously,
these names
obviously,
are not
obviously.
not are not are not known to the not know, these names are completely remaining unknown to the world of intellect. Now let me come to Jyotishman once more. Jyotishman, I would like to know from you that the same thing which I was asking Shomo a few moments back is that there Bengalis have been in this land for tens of thousands, I don't know for how many thousands of years, but they have been. We have also heard of the Gonga Empire, the Pal dynasty, the Sin dynasty, and of the brilliant maneuvers and the heroic resistances of the Bengali Hindus against the Islamic marauders in the medieval era. I'm not coming to this revolutionary period. I'm just talking here by 1700. So do you think the worship of weapons in Bengali called Ostro Upasana, has it been an inseparable part of the Bengali culture? Do you think that worship of weapons was a part of the Bengali culture for a great number of years? Do you think so?
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. If we trace back the history of Astra Upasana, it was popularized in the during the British era by Sarala Devi Chaudhurani during the Birastami Brata, what we call that. Yes, Astra Upasana was an integral part of Sakta culture of Bengal. During the Middle Ages, Hambir Mollo, a renowned figure. Later, he converted into Vaishnav. But during the war of Mundomala Ghat, why it is called Mundomala Ghat? During when Empire of Sher Shah Suri fall, there was some Pathans who ruled over Bengal, several parts, including their capital was Patna. The dynasty was Korani. Suleiman Khan Korani. And Suleiman Khan Korani's son Daud Khan Korani, the what we call in Bengali Yuvaraj, or I don't know
The
what they
prince,
say
the
in Arabic.
prince,
Prince,
the
the
prince.
prince attacked Mallabhum, and in the battle of Mundamala Ghat, they uh, Hambir Mollo clearly smashed down 1 lakh soldiers. Can you imagine the amount 1 lakh soldier had died of his sultanate in a battle against a small kingdom, Mallabhum? So where it is said, it is called Loko Katha, that Hambir Mollo took those heads and made that in a mala type shape and offered to Devi Kali. Yes, Mridmoy Devi. That is Kula Devi of Mallabhum. So uh, there is clearly visible that Astro Puja and Astro Upasana was an integral part of Sakta culture of Bengal. Yes, and
Well,
if
in,
we
well, just a minute. Even in the Vaishnava traditions, if we found that even the Bhakta
yes,
Rasamrita Sindhu that has written by Rup Goswami, that's one of the most prominent uh, doctrinal evidences of the Vaishnava, the Gaudiya Vaishnava cult. It is also said that to be a profound, to be a pure Vaishnava, one must be the Sura. That means he must be well versed in practicing the arms and the sharp weapons and everything. So,
yes,
what I've learned from you, Jyotishman, just now, that the weaponry is a very much integral part of the Shakta traditions as practiced in Bengal. But at the same
yes,
time, the Vaishnava tradition has also not banished the concept of weapons, since Vishnu is the Chaturabhuja Vishnu is having that Sudarshan Chakra, the Gada, the lotus, the
yes,
Padma, and the Shankh. Okay.
yes.
So,
It is also mentioned in
uh,
Chaitanya Charitamrita how they portray Sri Chaitanya as a uh, type of weak character, that he flew from Gaud in the fear of Hossein Shah. But no one mentions that with his army, Sri Chaitanya Dev just attacked the palace of Chand Kaji, and he said, "Bring him here. I will cut his head from his body."
certainly,
Okay,
Stephen.
so, so
Well, say
Sri
please.
Chaitanya in the Middle Ages was a figure like Guru Gobind Singh. If we compare that, but
Certainly,
some
certainly, certainly. I do agree. And it's a great misfortune for us. We are how unfortunate we are that we have not been able to assess Chaitanya Mahaprabhu properly. We have not been
yes,
able. We have turned him into an apostle of peace and adoration and of love. But what we should have done is that we should have worshipped him as a warrior person, as a warrior, ascetic warrior, Sannyasi Yoddha, isn't it? The way we
yes.
do confirm to Swami Vivekananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just a predecessor to that tradition only. So, do you agree, Soumyadip, to this? Soumyadip?
I obviously do agree. I obviously do agree with you. You are absolutely right. And the story or the incident that Jyotishman mentioned just some seconds ago about fighting Kaji, it is now this incident, like I said, it is not spoken in history like the incident I told about Mollabhum or the incident of Hambir Mollo that he told about Mollabhum. Now, interestingly, when you speak about Vaishnav kingdoms, Mollabhum became Vaishnav from the time of Hambir Mollodev, and after that there has been many generations who fought very bravely. Like there is Chaitanya Singh Mollo who fought the Nawab, there is Krishna Singh Mollo who fought the Borghese, there is Bir Singh Mollo who fought Shah Shuja, and they all were Vaishnavas. They were devout Vaishnavas. If you go to Bishnupur even once, it is a very great place to visit, I would say. Like the temples, they're so beautiful. The Madan Mohan temple, the Lalji temple, all of them are Krishna temples, but they never forgot about their culture. They never stopped fighting for their motherland. Like I'll give you an example of the Borgi
Yes.
Akraman that happened in Bengal. It had a big impact in our history. The Borgi, one team of the Borgis reached the Mallabhum, and at that time the king of Mallabhum was Gopal Singh. Gopal Singh Mollo or Gopal Singh Dev, whatever you call it. So Gopal Singh Mollo's eldest son Krishna Singh Mollo fought valiantly. He was cutting down the Borgis, like he was very brave in the battle. But suddenly he was shot or he was attacked from behind and he died. Now when Krishna Singh Mollo fall, the army lost some of their confidence. So boost upping their confidence, Gopal Singh Mallo fired the Dolmadol cannon. Now, if anyone have been to Bishnupur and have seen the Dolmadol cannon, it is huge. It is literally huge cannon. Like
and
if it is
some,
fired,
something extraordinary.
something extraordinary, truly something extraordinary, so powerful. It was fired and the Borgis were fleeing. Now to boost up the confidence of the soldiers, they said, now here comes a word that two meanings the same. Gopal and Madan Mohan both are names of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Gopal Singh Mallo fired the cannon, and to boost up the mentality of the soldiers, they said that Madan Mohan fired the cannon. When the
Oh,
soldiers
lovely.
heard that their when the soldiers heard that their Ishta Devata, their presiding deity, is with them, they fought more and more valiantly, and the Borgis were out of there. There is a
Well,
small
that means,
poem.
please, the small poem.
So there's a small poem. It is said, সেনভূমি গোভূমি সবই পুড়াইলা সব পুড়িয়ে বর্গী শেষে মল্লভূমে আইলা বিষ্ণুপুরে আইলা বিষ্ণুপুর স্বয়ং গোপাল রক্ষা করে বর্গীর সাধ্য সে কি করিতে পারে, which means that সেনভূম
Yes.
and গোভূম both were burned by the Borgis. Then the Borgis come to Bishnupur, but Bishnupur was saved by Gopal himself. Now Gopal here means the Madan Mohan, the god himself, and also the king Gopal Singh Mallo. So being Vaishnav doesn't mean you are not fighting. The Mallabhum kingdom has a history, as I said, of like 1200 years. Huge history and huge history of resistance against the invaders. All of them, like they have fought the British, they have fought the Nawab, they have fought the Pathans, they have fought the Borgis. Four of the biggest powers they have fought in history, but they were Vaishnav. So there's nothing said that you can't be Vaishnav and you can't fight in a war. It's nothing like that.
So unlike the modern Vaishnavas, those Vaishnavas at the time had a great reliance on their own expertise and weaponry and the zeal to fight against the invaders and to establish justice and establish the dharma. Fine, very good. Well, thank you, Soumyadip, on this. Now, Jyotishman, unfortunately, so I was going to ask a very strong question to Jyotishman, but he got batting. There is again some technical problem. Well, meanwhile, I would like to Soumyadip. In the meanwhile, so according to you, what we have learned from you is that the Bengali Hindus have a very strong tradition of, for hundreds of years, at a stretch, of valiance, of Kshatriyata and everything. Okay, so this culture had been prominent once more. Even in the 19th century Bengal, the Verasa, the formation of the Hindu Mela, and even in the Agni Jug, not to speak of the initial Shomiti, Juganto, Rattanmati, Revolutionary Bengal volunteers, Mukti Shonga, and others. But what has happened after 1947? What has gone wrong with the Bengalis? They happen to be one of the most persecuted people across the globe in the post-Second World War scenario, encountering almost hundreds of genocides. 50 lakh of people have been butchered by now. But the Bengalis can't protest it. Even if they protest, only a handful of them are found to protest, while the 99% of the rest of the population prefer to remain silent. But the majority of them happen to be very profoundly dharmic or religious. I would have said it, they are strongly connected. Well, Soumyadip, thank you very much for coming back to us. I was just asking that, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So, according to Soumyadip, Bengalis or Bengali Hindus in particular have been having a long tradition of valiance, valor, and everything. Okay, they had a very good reliance or acquaintance with weaponry, be it the sharp weapons or the others. And this dhara or this tradition got prominent once more in the 19th century Bengal. And with the formation of the Agni Jug and Committee Juganto, we do know what did happen. They will rock the British Empire. But my question is here. In the post-1947 period, the last 75 to 80 years, Bengali Hindus have encountered almost hundreds of genocides. 50 lakh of its people have been butchered. But the same Bengalis, with such a huge, with such an immense tradition of valiance, prefers to remain silent or are too meek to protest with them. Even if a handful of them are found to protest, and the rest of the 99% remains in silence. What has gone wrong there? Why have we
Now,
failed?
if you ask me what went wrong, that we are the first thing doing something, building a revolution. If we say building a revolution, if we say the base that we need is education, right? Without being educated in something, we can't go out and like fight with a stone in our hand like it's the stone age. Our history has been deprived so much that, like, if I give you an example, Protabaditya, the first name of Bengali Hindu king that comes to any one of our minds when you speak is Maharaja Protabaditya. He's one of the biggest figures in history, in our history, one of the biggest figures. The way he countered the Mughals was immense. No one in history has ever done that. His name disappeared from history after 1947. Till 1947 there was Protabaditya Utsav done by the revolutionaries. Now after 1947 this history was buried. Very few people now. I live in Durgapur. There was a kingdom near Durgapur called Gobhu. 3 years before I didn't knew about that. 3 to 4 years before I didn't knew about that. But I crossed that place like once in a month. This history that we forgot has given us a depression, or as I can say, we have forgot our history. So we think that we can't fight. If I know that my ancestors have fought, then I will get the courage, the power inside me to fight. Then I can do anything. The mentality is main. After that you can have the physicality. Also the akhada culture or the physical culture in Bengal is lost, totally lost. I have been into like combat sports for some time now. I know what is the background. I know what is happening. These two things, the physical culture which is lost in Bengal today, and us being deprived from the history, has become our biggest enemy from re-rise. The fall of Bengali Hindus is like no one else. But these are the two main things. If you ask me, the two main causes. First, being deprived from our true history, which people need to know, which people need to know about my ancestors. They are my ancestors. They are from this land. And the second one is the loss of the physical culture here. We are always told Bangla Shadhin Nawab, Shiraj, Bangla Sultanate, that these things have uh, like affected our mind in such a way that we think no, Bengali Hindus didn't have any resistance, didn't have anything, and these things have hit our mind so bad that we can't stand up now. We are said that you can't stand up, you can't stand up. Now we can stand up. Our history of standing, rather than standing outside fighting, our history of fighting has become so deprived to people that people uh, now don't want to fight. This is the biggest thing I think that has happened with us.
So, Soumyadip, if I do want to know from you, what should be done then?
What should be done now? The first thing that should be done, that, as I said, the base should be stronger. Like uh, even if you think in the freedom struggle, how many name of the Bengalis we know? Very few. We know some famous names like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagajuddin Khudiram Bose, that's all. Like these three names, or Aurobindo Ghosh, some people will know that. 4 to 5 names. But there were like thousands and thousands of people who did that. We have to revive that history and tell that to people. Telling that to people that this is your history. That's not your history. This is your original history. Like sometime before, Jyotishman mentioned that Sirajuddaulah has mentioned the last Nawab of Bangla, Bihar, and Bengal. He fall, and then there is no king. The British came. Now this is wrong. This is wrong, and this wrong thing has to be done right. We have to, first of all, we have to talk about the history that is lost. We have to let people know about their history, and we have to revive that physical culture that we had, not only in the Ognijuk days, in the previous times. Like sometimes before, Jyotishman gave you an story, or gave you an example of the Mundomala Ghats war, where Hambir Mollo defeated like 1 lakh Pathan soldiers. What happened? There is a background. Let me tell you about the background. Speaking about that, when it was known to Hambir Mollo that Daud Khan Karnani has attacked his kingdom, the Mollobum had a very small army. Like, it was not a huge army of to fight people. What Hambir Mollo did, he collected people. He collected the normal people, the people who were like farmers, the people who were like doing other odd jobs or doing other jobs. He took them into the military. He trained them. Now, you can't train someone to be in a war. You have to have some basic back training. These people had this training. These people came into the army, they formed a bigger army, and they fought. This backdrop isn't available for us now. This backdrop is more needed than the front. The background should be strong enough to stand up against anything. I think this should be done first of all.
If I do want to say something, following you is that the less you the less you train, the more you train, the less you bled in war, isn't it?
Always. True. 100% true.
Yeah, the more you train, the more you train, the less you bled in war. And I must say that if we do go through the anecdotes and even just a minute, only yesterday in the night, at dead silence of the night, at 1:30 a.m. in the night, I was just trying to search the number of Bengali books with the title Juddho. But it must be stated that I'm stating this with great grief, but it is a reality. And in the last 100 years, there have not been more than 5 to 6 books on the Juddho. That means the war science. War is a part of human life. War is a part of the civilization in the history of mankind. War is indispensable and war is inevitable. You cannot flee the war. If you take the challenge to wage a war, then you can be saved in the war. But we, the people who are trying to flee from the war, do not know that war is inevitable to us. And according to Soumyadip and Jyotishman, you have said that Bengali Hindus have a tradition of warfare and everything, but now these days they're found to be more interested in pomps and splendors than a warfare. Though it's known to all, they are in the midst of an existential crisis. So in this aspect, I would like to ask Soumyadip if he is available. Can he be brought to the fourth again, please? Oh, Jyotishman is here. I was wrong, I think. When one is there, the other is gone. While he is here, that is guy is gone. Well, there's something strange is happening today. On the 31st of December 2022. So strange things are happening in the line. Hello. Who have sounded the word hello?
Yes. Now you are audible.
Jyotishman, I think, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. Jyotishman, your camera is still not being perceptible. Can we show you? Can you see you in the camera?
There are some issues in network, so I just off the camera.
You prefer to be from behind the curtain, isn't it? The black curtain.
Yes.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yes,
But just a minute. I was just talking to Soumyadip. So Soumyadip, just what you said just now is very, very serious. Is that the non-availability of the physical culture, the lack of education have deprived the Bengali Hindus and have dealt a heavy blow to their manly spirit? Isn't it you have told just now? Hello? We can't hear you. Can I hear you now? There's some problem, I think. Hello? 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 Can I hear you now? Hello?
Yes, you are audible now.
Hello, Jyotishman.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Jyotishman. Soumyadip is missing for some time. He will come back right now, perhaps. But Jyotishman, I would like to know from you. That's a very serious question. That martial concepts, weaponaries, arms, emanations, and the martial enterprises have always been the part of the Bengali culture that was once referred
Hello,
as
hello.
an active side. Hello, hello.
I can't hear your voice clearly. There are some,
Okay,
I think, network problem.
just a minute, just a minute.
It is just vibrating like.
Can you hear me now? Hello,
Yes, 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 yes.
hello.
Hello.
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
you're audible,
শুনতে
audible.
পাচ্ছ তো?
Yes.
শুনতে পাচ্ছ? Okay.
Okay, okay.
Well, sir, Jyotishman, I would like to. Okay, I would like to know from you the simple fact that weaponry, martial practices, martial enterprises have been part of the Bengal tradition for thousands of years. What has gone wrong now? Why is such a huge crisis
Uh,
about the Bengali mindset? What do you think?
uh, if we talk about the mindset, so there is some identity problem, identity disorder. When a nation enters into the identity disorder, he lost his culture. If I talk about modern Bengali Hindu society, some says that it is bread and butter. Some says no, this is aloo ka jhol, huh? And someone says every time someone comes and says no, 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 that can't be your identity. Your identity is like this. So major the problem is now that Bengali Hindus are ashamed of their culture. Why they are ashamed? So if we trace back in the history, I'm saying from the historical perspective, not political, socio-political. There may be so many other reasons. So many historians says that Hinduism wasn't dominant in Bengal in the historical time frame, that it was the Sen monarchs, it was the uh, Sasanko, it was the something other some Hindu rulers who forcefully Burmans forcefully introduced Hinduism in our society. Okay, so it was the major cause of the identity disorder, if I say. And so what their narrative is, Bengali was a type of animistic society, then Buddhism entered, and then Hinduism entered. Yes, and Hindus and mainly Brahmins had tortured the Buddhists so much, and there was the role of some such historians like Dinesh Sen, Binoy Ghosh, like those historians. They build up such a narrative that Brahmins has oppressed those Buddhists through the power, power from Sena rule or through the kings. They have introduced casteism in Bengal, and then throughout the time that they somehow converted some of the Buddhists. But when Islam entered, yes, so when Bhaktiar entered, so they got the something called mukti. Yes, so Buddhists converted into Islam, but that is not even true. Even the Sena rulers, among the Sena rulers, there is one uh, foremost Sena ruler, that is Gaudesar Madhusen. He defeated and defeated two times the I think Amin Khan Atagin and Sher Khan, two governors of Gaud and Jaunpur, defeated and occupied both Gaya. He was a Sena ruler from latter Sen dynasty after the I say Lakshman Sen. After Lakshman Sen, after Biswarup Sen, he was a Sena ruler from Bikrampur. He restored both Gaya. Can you imagine? There was Buddhist among sinners, and there was everyone says that Palas were completely Buddhist, but that is not true. During the Pala rule, during Rampala, that was what is said. Ramcharitam was written. Ramcharitam contains two parts. First is Ramayan, description of Ramayan, who is the Lord of Ayodhya, and second is Rampal. Rampal is compared here with respect to Sri Ramchandra, and there was two times written. Ramayana was written in Palaira, and many Pala rulers were who are Saiva, like Mahipal. Mahipal was Saiva king, and it is mentioned in their inscription that Mahipal made Isana Chitra Ghanta Mandir in Varanasi. Okay, so this whole thing was brainwashed and whitewashed because those inscription was studied by some pro-Buddhist authors like Haraprasad Sastri, and I don't know why they have so much affection to Buddhism and convert all of the Pala rulers to Buddhists. I don't know why, but they somehow made their narrative so much powerful that now most of the people believes in that. We don't believe, but most of the people.
Jyotishman, just a minute, just a minute. Well, same types of same types of harangues or misconceptions are there. Well, some misconceptions about Sashankar also evident still. It is said that Sashanka was very torturous. He persecuted the Buddhists and everything, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
The same accusations are also
Yes.
made against Sashanka.
Yeah, same Sasanka was against those Buddhists who are loyal towards Harshavardhan. So when Huan Sang entered in Gaurnagar, there was a great Buddha Bihar in Karna Suvarno that is called Raktamitrika Buddha Bihar. But if in his capital there can Buddha Bihar exist, so how can he become against Buddhists? So Sasanko attacked those Buddhists who resided in Bodh Gaya, and he plundered them because he was against him. And this was not only done by Sasanko, but in history, if we look, before Buddhist belief became dominant in Bengal, there was Jain tradition which was dominant in Bengal. Okay, the Ajivak, mainly Ajivak tradition, what is called Pundavardhan, Pundavardhan, Pundranagar. This was the major cultural center of the center for the Jains, and it is mentioned that uh, Asoka plundered and killed 30,000 Ajivaks and destroyed and killed all the Jains across the eastern peninsula because he showed that those some of Jains in a picture showed that Buddha is taking instruction from a Jain Tirthankar. So it was and I am surprised that they don't even say what atrocities did Asoka, but they blame Sasanka for the same war. But Sasanka didn't do such atrocities. That what if we compare Sasanka and Asoka, though nothing can be compared of. But Sasanko had some did some atrocities against those Buddhists who was not uh, um, faithful to them. And if we see throughout the Bengal, there are many Jain temples, but like Siddheshwar temple, that is both worshipped in Purulia by both Jains and Saiva tradition. Uh, so that temple, around that temple, no Jain community is present now. In eastern India, there exists only a single Jain community that numbers a member of something 1,000 or something around Purulia, Mayurbhanj, and those Chhotnagpur Malbhumi region. Okay, so they have pushed on their narrative so much hard, and they have even whitewashed one dynasty that Some of the people says that Ganesh and Danujmardhan Dev was from Deva dynasty, not Ganesh. They says that they both of them are same, because if they show both of them same, then their narrative becomes more stronger. If they implement Danujmardhan Dev had coins in his name. He had his own set of rules and regulations and a huge empire. He occupied Navahatta, he occupied Gaurnagar, he established a
What's
big
up,
empire
Ganesha?
throughout the Bengal.
What's up, Ganesha?
Yes.
Hello? Hello? We are going to, we're on the verge of witnessing or hearing something more striking information. Jyotishman, can you hear me? So, can we have Soumyadip at this juncture? Soumyadip is there, I think.
Yeah.
Soumyadip,
Hi,
I was
Owen.
on. Hello. We were just listening to Jyotishman with rapt attention. He was very good in his speeches. Jyotishman, am I audible?
Yes, you are
Jyotishman?
audible. I have
So
some
my question,
network
well,
problem now.
yeah, but my question is
Hello,
that
hello,
so
hello,
what? Hello. Hello.
hello.
Can you hear me? Can you
Now
hear
I can
me?
hear you, but there.
Okay.
Yes.
Jyotishman, now
But
I would like
your
to know
voice isn't consistent. It is vibrating just.
now. Fine. Now, Soumyadip, am I audible? Can you hear me, Soumyadip?
Yes, I can hear you, Mitrudha.
Okay, fine. Jyotishman, can you hear me now?
I think Jyotishman is having some network issues.
Okay. Well, Jyotishman, I was just asking you that if Jyotishman, can you hear me now? Hello. Well, so we are on the verge of ending the program today. It has been a very, very good discussion among us. So, Soumyadip, if I get back to your earlier point, that a lack of physical cultures, lack of complete absence of physical culture, or betrayal of physical culture, along with the concept of the knowledge of Gyan, have drowned the Bengali Hindus. So, according to you, what should be done to come back once more? Since we can die in this manner, I think. We know that you and me, we do both belong to the same generation, and perhaps we are the last generation of the Bengali Hindus are talking to each other in this manner. I'm saying in Bengal স্যার বললে আমরা শেষ পর্যন্ত যেরকম দুপক্ষে মুখোমুখি বসে কথা বলছি I think from the next generation if something is not done at this time there should be no second generation from now. So Soumyadip, do you think that in Bengal, as far as the Bengal Hindus are concerned, there is the need of a very strong and radical identity movement? Do you think so? That identity means your lifestyle, your economic sovereignty, your economic independence, your self-reliance, and also the political dignity.
Like,
Do you think so?
I obviously do think so. You are absolutely right what we are saying, that the lack of the physical culture and the lack of knowledge of our history has deprived us so much that we think that we can't stand up. Like, our next generations, they don't go to any places, they don't go to play in the playgrounds, they sit in the homes idly, they play games. It's okay, you can play games, you can have fun, you can read things on internet, but you have to think the physical thing, like the physical thing. My boxing coach, from whom I am very fortunate to learn, he is a student of Sri Pronoy Lal Rai, who is the father of Indian boxing. He's like 75 years old now, and he tells me the same thing, that why is this thing happening? When he was like young like me, he used to say that there were many boys, Bengali boys in boxing, but now there are only 2 or 3 boys in boxing.
But
The
now,
thing is because we have in our mind that boxing is not for us. This thing has been implemented into our minds. This is the wrong thing that has happened. We have to get out of this mindset that this is not ours. Everything is ours. In every field you see, from the intellectuals to the physicals, everywhere Bengali Hindus have such level of achievement, such like the father of Indian boxing was a Bengali, the father of Indian freestyle wrestling was a Bengali, and now there are rarely any Bengalis in both of these fields, and this is a disrespect to our ancestors who did this. Now we have to revive that. And how should we revive that? We should to revive that through the young generations, through us and through our next generations, that they should be there. They should go to physical culture, they should go to the playgrounds, and they should have that strength and also the knowledge. Both are important. Astra and Shastra, both are important. If you don't have one, you can't win. Like I read a very good quote somewhere. I don't remember whose it is. It is probably from a Greek philosopher. He said that a society that differentiates its intellectuals from its warriors is a fool, because it will have its war fought by fools and its thinking done by cowards. So both are very important. This is a very important quote, that both are very important. Knowing our history, knowing our culture is important, and equally important is the physical culture. If, like, I'm giving a very small example. Say I am physically strong, I know how to fight. If a chore comes to my house, I can fight. Let the society go in veins. Let the society go in veins for some seconds. If a chore comes to my house, if someone threatens my father, I can fight. If I don't have that power, what use of am I? I'm of no use. If I can fight for my family, I am of no use. From family comes a society, from society comes the country. This is the chronological order. First the family, then the society, then the country. If I can fight for my family, then I can fight for the society and for the country. This thing should come to people's mind. That if I'm not
thank
strong,
you.
how can I do that thing? This
Thank you.
thing, if comes to people's mind, as I said, like the physical culture and the study of our history and our culture, we will rise again. We will rise again, and we will rise again. I can say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Soumyadip. Thank you very much. And with this
Thank you.
strong utterance and conviction of Soumyadip, we on the Swing Writers are on the verge of ending today. Jyotishman is back once more. Jyotishman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Jyotishman, we are just on the ending of this program. So I would
Okay.
like to have a small answer from you. What should be done for the Bengali Hindu revival?
What is? Sorry, can you repeat?
What should be done for the Bengali Hindus to revive once more? Revival. What should be
Okay.
done for revival?
Okay. Uh, in my opinion, first we have to rewrite our history, and we have to build our own institution, because most of the institution brings their own agenda, and we can't go through them. But we have to rewrite first history, and secondly, uh, mass awareness, that is meant when Somadita was saying about the Gobhum, I remembered one thing that I discussed with Somadipda, that uh, when they showed that the Bhalki Machan, that is a type of fort over Gobhum, they said that why it is called Bhalki Machan, because the kings of Gobhum used to hunt the bhalluks, which mean bears. But if we look trace back the history, and that is called Sivakha Mahatma. Sivakha was Kuldevi of the Bhalki village, and it was written by the court poet of Gobhum. Sivakha Mahatma says that when Mahendra Singh, the great emperor of Gobhum, his grandfather was adopted by a Bhalluk mother. Okay, so they seems Bhalluk to be so much sacred that when a Bhalluk died in that area, they used to do shraddh of them. Okay, they people have cherry picked the history so much that Bhalluk is was seemed once the mother of that village. Now people started talking that no, it was the place where kings used to hunt the bhalluks. So we have to educate our people. And what is the medium of education? We may go through YouTube, we may go through social media, we may go to some articles, and many other things we can done that, so that our culture do not get corrupted. And if I say another incident that I used to see the nataks, and in one drama, uh, I have seen that people shows Dakhin Rai who fought for the people of Sundarban, who fought for the independence of the land. He is portrayed as a villain, and the Muslim side is portrayed as a uh, you can say Muktidata for them. And Dakhin Rai
The
was a
telephone.
tyrant, bad and abusive ruler. So
Even if
they
you go
have.
to Sundarban area today, even if you go to Sundarban area today, Dakshin Rai is considered as the god of tiger and Opodevota. He's not a god, he's like a Opodevota. Like people pray
Devil.
to
He's
him,
a
but
devil.
but
He is a
but
he's
devil.
a devil.
what says
Yes.
Raimangal says us? What Raimangal says us? His Borputra Sadasivir. He is the part of Sadasiv or
What
Shiv. Shiva belongs to
Jyotish,
him, but he is Apodevata. And it is not only here. They so separate Loko Devata or Loko Devi as the Apodevata. But in during what the Kantara film, some reviewers said that Kantara is the Apodevata. I say, how can a Kantara become a Abodevata? But they says that it is Abodevata and it is local goddess. What is local culture? What is local custom? That is marked as non-Aryan. Here comes the topic: Aryan and non-Aryan. They classify those things. What is not mentioned in our text, that is called non-Aryan. But if we trace the history of Kantara, so it is basically Baraho avatar, Baraho, third avatar of Vishnu. But they say portrays that in such a way. Okay, so we have to educate people, and they have to protest for their own rights. If someone cherry picks their history, if someone cherry picks their culture, they should stand for their own custom and own culture.
Okay.
It is
Thank
my
you.
point of
Thank
view.
you. Thank you, Jyotishman. Thank you. Thank you. So with this, we are on the end of this program. We have learned a lot from our young members. Soumyadip and Jyotishman are very proud of the Bengal volunteers and Kanji resources team. They are our great resources and great champions, these two young guns. We have we had decided to make this subject as a search of Bengal Hindu exclusivity. What we have found from this conversation of an hour-long conversation, is that certainly there is exclusiveness among the Bengalis for the Bengali identity. This has been the nation of valiant, of those valorous people who never surrendered to the intruders, the imperialistic ambitions and desires, and they had always fought back in response. The valor, the vitality, energy, manliness. I'm talking the word manliness. It's not as a in a very derogatory term of man and female. But manliness speaks of energy. And in this case, we must also say that Rani Bhabu Shankari of Bodhisreshta was the most perfect man we have found till now. So we have found the Bengalis have been doing a lot. They have wrote a lot. They have fought a lot, and the traditions of the Ugni in the 19th and 20th century was nothing but the continuation of the same. But in the last 74, 25 years, The reverse has taken place. The Bengalis have been persecuted, murdered, butchered, raped, and whatnot in the period of the genocides and everything. But there has not been a considerable protestation from the Bengali Hindus of the same race. That means there is a problem. The problem is that what these two young members have already stated, that neither there is culture of physical available, there is not of any physical culture, there is no mental culture even, and there is hardly any intellectual impressions or that called the contemplations of the exchange of ideas. In Bengal, is called might be some buddhi and whatever it is. Nothing is there at present in Bengal. And for that reasons we are suffering. If we have to come back with a thumping reality, with a thumping majority, if we have to come back and reclaim our position and rebuild our own identity, we shall have to work hard. We shall have to be valorous. We shall have to get back to the basics. From the very beginning of Bengal politics, we have been stating the Vedic mantra of idam shastram shapad pishana. The power of knowledge is equal to the knowledge of power. Bengali Hindus have got to get back to the basics, to their own civilizational traditions, norms, customs, and beliefs that had made them immensely powerful once. Unless we get back there, we will not be able to do anything. So this is exclusivity of Bengali Hindus we have talked about. On the next Saturday, we shall talk on more on we shall talk on any other related issues of great importance, significance. Bengal politics will go on with the VERITAS. I hope you have enjoyed this program, and it will be a great delight for us if you kindly share this program, subscribe to the channel, and provide us more information, and kindly let us know what more do you want from us. What more subjects should we concentrate upon to make VERITAS more powerful and a poignant aspect of the Bengali Hindus in the coming days of more vicious struggles. This is Soumyadip Chakraborty of Bengal Volunteers. Thank you very much for being with us. Be with us. We shall move forward for a greater, stronger future. Thank you. Thank you for being.